Let me ask you this. Do you truly believe that the relationship of your dreams is possible? Not for someone else, not someday, but for you, right now, starting today.
Mm. So this is where a lot of people struggle, not with their effort, but with the belief. And I dare you to watch this without turning up the volume on your believer button. Okay, so I guarantee that you must, in order to create the love life that you imagine, you must turn up the volume on your believer button. You have to. And I guarantee you that when you do, you'll be able to create the love life that you imagine.
Let's talk about it. And let's talk about why belief is critical. Not important, but it's critical. See, belief shapes your reality. Your relationship can only grow as far as you and your belief allow it to. See, when you believe something is possible, your mind, your heart, they start to align with that vision. And suddenly you start to see the opportunities where there were previously obstacles. You start to see the opportunities in the places where it used to be filled with fear and uncertainty. You start to see the opportunities in the place where you previously saw nothing but doubt and disbelief. When you believe that something is possible, it will override all the obstacles that you are facing, not because the obstacles will disappear, but because it will override and it will make them minuscule to the point to where the only thing you care about is what you know you believe. And that is the strength where you will have once felt weak.
Yes.
So I want you to think about it. What would happen if you actually believed? And I mean fully believed, without doubt, without fear, with absolute certainty believed that you are worthy of the love life you imagine.
Ooh, that's beautiful. We got to make our obstacles obsolete. So, Proverbs says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And so, your belief, it really shapes how you think. It really shapes how you act. It really shapes how you show up in this world, in your life, in your relationships, no matter if those are familial relationships, work relationships, your relationship, the most important one of all, the relationship you have with yourself. Belief is what fuels your action. And without belief in yourself, you cannot move forward towards a different reality. You see, belief is what actually gives us the courage to take the next steps and to move forward and to push forward, even when we don't know every single step. We don't have full clarity about where the road will lead. However, when we believe that there's something for us, when we believe that there's something in us, then that allows us to stay the course. It allows you to say, you know what? I don't know exactly that this is going to work out. I don't know how it is all going to work out. I don't know what kind of uh, roadblocks and things will, be thrown my way. I don't know what kind of devilish things will be said. I don't know what kind of deceit will be in the way. But you know what? I am committed to moving forward. I am committed to continuing trying. Belief is what gives you the power to walk by faith and not by sight. So so I want you to, reflect on this. I want you to think of a time when you stepped out in faith. Maybe it was in your career, maybe it was in your personal life, maybe it was in a relationship. And I want you to think about what it is that drove you forward. Was it certainty or was it belief?
And three, belief breaks down barriers. Now, you've probably heard the statement, believe bigger. It has been world renowned
Yeah.
for more than 10 years at this point. Okay? It is one of the sayings of one of my favorite mentors, believe bigger. That matters so much. Every time I hear Marshawn say it, when I hear Marshawn Evans Daniel say, believe bigger, it resonates with me so much because even before I ever heard her use the words believe bigger, her spirit was saying, you've got to believe in a way that you have never even thought possible if you dare to break down the barriers that are facing you. See, most barriers, they exist solely in our mind. And you may think, we've been stuck for too long. I've been single for too long. I've gone through too much heartbreak. I've dealt with too much from too many people. And quite frankly, even though I believe, I'm not ready to believe in a way that it would take me out of my level of comfort. But I'm telling you, that in and of itself is not real belief. Because real belief will break down barriers. Believing bigger will completely eradicate those barriers.
Yeah.
It will make them non-existent. See, those thoughts, they feel real to you, okay? Those thoughts when they're saying that nothing ever works and it's not going to work out and it's just too hard and I'm not good enough or they're not good enough or there's just not anybody out there for me. And sometimes that voice sounds real good to you, but it is still equally deceiving, saying to you that nobody's quite worthy of me and nobody has everything that I need. Those voices are equally deceiving, but belief will break down even those barriers.
Yeah.
Because again, those thoughts feel real, but they're built on doubt.
Yeah.
And belief will tear them down. So I just want you to think about the story of Jericho in the Bible. And that's in Joshua 6. And I'm not going to preach to you, but I want you to think about it. See, when the Israelites were faced with having to go and take the promised land, okay? They walked in there, all they saw were the walls. They knew that there were walls. Walls, barriers, okay? Looking at those walls, it seemed impossible to break through it. But God told them exactly what to do. God told them, you march around the city for 7 days straight, and on the seventh day, I want you to sound your horns and shout. And guess what? When they followed that, when they believed enough to follow through in faith on what God had instructed them to do, the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. That's the power of belief. It breaks down those barriers. So when you believe in your capacity to transform, when you believe in your capacity to have what it is that you imagine, when you believe in your capacity to say everything that is in me that I do not want to be a part of me, so that I can walk fully in myself, walk fully in who I want to be, and have everything that I know God has promised me, those barriers will lose their power. They simply become challenges that you can easily overcome. That, at its core, is the mindset and the heart set of belief. Babe, you want to dig deeper into that?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
And I love that story about the people marching around the walls of Jericho, because that is like that's one of my favorite stories of belief from the Bible there. And when we think about their belief, and they went around, they had no idea that this was going to work, but it was given to them, right? And I want you to think about this. Even though the walls of Jericho fell down, they still had to go fight. They didn't just fall down and they were like, oh, we won. There were still some inhabitants of that land that said, you know what, this is still ours. You may have knocked down the walls, but you're going to have to fight. And so when I think about that, when you're walking this journey, it's going to be a fight. Why is it going to be a fight? Because you still have to shift your mindset. You still have to let go of any doubts, any fears, any, misconceptions that have just been ingrained in you. You have to let go of all of those things that have kept you stuck for so long. And when you incorporate like these mindsets and you incorporate the new mindsets that you know will move you forward, you don't necessarily always know that they'll move you forward. But you have to have faith and you have to have that belief that you are going to be able to use that ACT method once you get that clarity and you are able to connect authentically. You have to have the belief in the first part to get started. Without the belief, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have typed in ready. You wouldn't have taken the next steps. In fact, without the belief, you may not have even listened to that last conversation that we had. But when you believe, that is the first step towards getting ready to experience supernatural shifts in your own life and in your love life. So I'm so proud of you for actually taking that first step, taking the step to believe that you are worthy of the love that you've imagined for yourself, taking the first steps to believe that things don't have to be the same. Change is possible. And no matter how long you've been in the place that you're in right now, or maybe the place that you were in yesterday, no matter how long you've been there, you don't have to stay in a place that is not exactly what you see for yourself, a place that may have been broken, a place where there was doubt and disbelief. Because belief in yourself, belief in your abilities, belief in the others around you, belief in the supernatural powers that can be revealed within yourself when you put forth the effort. Those are the things that will push you forward.
And just know that belief, it is not just a thought. It's a posture of your heart. A lot of people think that they can think their way into believing, and it just won't work that way. You have to posture your heart. I mean, you got to lean into what you believe. So your heart has to truly be open to something greater to an extent that you are willing to lean in fearlessly. And that's going to take courage to lean in fearlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It really is. But belief requires that you let go of the pain and the disappointment of the past in order that you can make room for the hope that your heart is seeking, the wholeness that your heart is seeking. You cannot think your way into believing. You just simply have to lean into it.
That's good.
So I want you to ask yourself, what is your heart holding on to that's keeping you from believing? Is it a past hurt? Is it fear of failure? Is it disappointment? Is it insecurities? Is it still that nagging voice that somebody told you that you weren't quite worthy or didn't meet the standards to get what it is that your heart is telling you it really has for you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the voice of somebody who told you you never have it? Is it the voice of somebody who told you that you were not worthy of having what you want? Is it your mind convincing you that because they didn't give it to you, that nobody would give it to you? Is it your head convincing you that just because you didn't quite always do the right thing, that you will forever be living in what people like to call karma?
Yeah,
to justify not making the transformation that is necessary, not to posture your heart and lean into believing what you really see? I want you to let this moment be your release. Release is one of my absolute favorite words Because so often I hear people talk about believing and they start to talk about everything that they need to add to it. And I need to add this, and I need to start doing this, and I need to start doing that. And then I'll be able to believe differently. And it's like, no, you gotta be able to release some things so that you can believe differently. This needs to be your moment that you release those little nagging voices, and that you become intentional that every time you hear them, that you start to replace them. It's going to require vulnerability. Believing requires vulnerability. It means admitting that you do not have all the answers, nor do you need them, yet you still trust that the answers will come to you as you continue to move, not backwards, but forward. And I assure you that these outcomes, the outcomes that will follow this level, this heart's posture towards belief, this leaning into belief, I promise you that the outcomes of this type of belief, it will transform the trajectory of every vision that you have been seeing, of every word that God has spoken into you. You just have to know that you have to believe with your whole heart and lean in, posture your heart towards the belief, not just your head. The head is not enough.
That's right. Yep. So what happens when you fully believe? What happens when you embrace belief itself? What'll end up happening is you'll begin to see things a way that are different than you've ever seen them before. Or maybe you'll revert back to almost like a childhood state to where you can see the possibilities that weren't even there before. Like a childhood state of like, oh my gosh, like, you know how kids just believe anything is possible. So, I mean, when you are in that childlike state, when you believe, like you believe in just anything being real and princesses and mermaids, all kinds of things, dinosaurs, everything is possible when you are in that state. And that's the kind of belief that you'll need in order to move forward with confidence and to be able to chart a path that'll be full of clarity, one that will attract the connection that you really want, one that will attract the partnership that you really want, one that will attract the growth that you want to continue experiencing inside of your own life and inside of your relationship. That energy is built on belief. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe it's possible. You have to believe in your partner. You have to believe bigger than you've ever believed before. And then when you get to believing bigger, you have to believe even bigger. You just have to keep getting better and better and better.
That's funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you get a little bigger, get even bigger.
Yes.
Just don't give up. Just have to continue.
Absolutely. And so the real key here is really being able to imagine what your life would be like every single day if you woke up fully believing that what you see as possible, that it is meant for you, that you will have it, that you're supposed to have it, that is the answer to the desires of your heart, and all you have to do is lean in, move into what you really believe. See, imagining it to a point to where you believe with absolute certainty that that's for you, it will unlock things inside of you that you never even realized were inside of you, needing to pour out of you. It opens a door to the future that feels aligned with all of your deepest desires and dreams.
Yeah. So, before we move on, I want you to take a moment and I want you to reflect I want you to ask yourself, do you believe that you're worthy? Do you believe you're worthy of the love that you see for yourself? Do you believe that change is possible?
For you.
Yes. Do you believe that you can transcend your current reality to achieve the reality that you really see for yourself? Do you believe that you can grow your relationship? Do you believe that you can grow it into the one that you really see for yourself? And from that point, grow even further.
If the answer is yes to this, and not just this, that was a conglomerate of questions, honey. If your answer is yes to the conglomerate of questions, I want you to commit to a new belief.
Yeah.
I want you to decide right now that you will not let fear or uncertainty or doubt hold you back. I want you to say, today is the day that I believe with everything in me that I can be exactly who I see myself being, and that I can have everything that is assigned to it, and that I will and can and should have the love life that I imagine. I want you to say, I believe. I want you to lean your heart in to believing. Because this is not just a phrase, it's a declaration. You're placing a demand upon yourself at this point. You're placing a demand upon yourself to say, anytime something starts to creep in, that you will remind yourself that you believe in what you really see. It is a declaration that you are ready to let go of all of the doubts that have been creeping in and that have been tarrying all inside of you, alongside of you, around you, finding ways to just even get access to you. To make you doubt the very thing that you know that God has spoken to you and shown you. And I want you to take it one step further. I want you to actually type. I want you to comment, I believe. You're not making a declaration just to yourself. When you type it, when you write it, you are saying out there to everybody else, I need just 2 to 3 other people to agree with me in my state of belief right now. You are saying that you understand that belief is the foundation of you being who you really see yourself being and creating the love life that you imagine. Why? Because belief is the foundation of everything. Without it, you'll stay stuck in the same patterns. You'll stay stuck in the same fears. You'll stay stuck in the same insecurities. You'll stay stuck in the same doubts. You'll stay stuck in the same thoughts that have been ripping and robbing you of everything that your heart truly desires, believes, and know you're supposed to be experiencing. By believing on a way that your heart has been desiring, has been yearning to believe, you are going to unlock the power to transform into who you see yourself being. You are going to unlock the power to transform your relationship into the love life you imagine. That is going to be the result of you believing. The moment you say, I believe, you will have already unlocked a power. Simply the moment you say, I believe, and you lean your heart and you posture your heart into the belief, you there at that point have already unlocked a principle that says you will have that which you already have. The having of it comes in you believing. The moment you really believe, you have it already.
Mhm.
You then simply just need to do the work to walk it through, see it through, to ensure that you are experiencing it in the totality of your reality, in both this dimension and that dimension. That's the power of belief. Type, comment, I'm ready. Make the declaration to yourself, make the declaration to the community around you that says, I'm ready. And even if nobody else comments, I want you to. Because when you comment, I'm ready, 2 or 3 will be touching and agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 will be believing for everything that your heart needs to be healed, to be whole, to be everything that you see yourself being, for you to experience the love life that you imagine. 2 or 3 will be all on one accord, believing for that same thing.
So, you're ready. You've written, I'm ready. You have made the declaration that I believe. In the next video, we're going to take it another step deeper. We're going to fully explore how to achieve clarity, the A of the ACT method. This is where you'll align the I'm ready with the I believe, and you'll be able to create a vision for the relationship of your dreams. So, I'm proud of you for making it so far right here and saying, you know what, I'm ready and I believe, because those are 2 huge steps there. But I want you to remember that we've got an ultimate goal here, and I know we've talked about it, but that clarity, the one that's coming up here, it's absolutely necessary in each and everything that you do, especially when you want to create the relationships of your dreams.
And I need you to remember that the love life that you imagine, it really starts with belief.
Yeah.
And I'm not typically the person that tries to convince a person to believe in something. It's just not my calling. But my calling is for those who already believe to keep believing. We are here with you. We are in this journey with you. We are here to guide you. This is a part of our calling. Keep believing. Type I believe, comment I believe, and posture your heart, lean in, and believe. We love you.